Speaking of science, the left obviously is having some trouble with the science. So this comes up in a couple of different contexts today. Context number one, apparently Donald Trump told John McEnroe, the former number one seeded tennis player, who's now, he's got to be pushing 60, John McEnroe. But John McEnroe was apparently at some event, and Donald Trump passed a note up to him offering to pay John McEnroe $1 million if he would play a match with Serena Williams. Here is John McEnroe talking about it.
I was calling a match, and suddenly I get this envelope, and it's from Donald Trump, you know, who's promoter galore. Little did I know what was going to end up happening, nor I believe anyone else. So he wrote me a letter, said, you know, dear John, you know, I want to offer you $1 million again to play either Serena or Venus. And so over the course of time, literally, you know, my kids, you know, my daughters have, Dad, I don't know if you can beat Serena. I'm like, God, I didn't even get my kids on my side.
Okay, the answer is he could probably beat Serena. Okay, but CNN's Christine Brennan says no. Either Venus or Serena would have pummeled John McEnroe, the former number one player in the world. First of all, are you talking about in their primes? Because no. Are you talking about when John McEnroe is 60? Still probably no is the truth. But here they're talking about it on CNN. And obviously, female power means that women have the same musculature and capacity in sports as men. If you're stupid. So here is Christine Brennan trying to explain.
Can we talk about him saying that he was sure that he would have beaten Serena or Venus Williams? I mean, I don't think he can be so sure.
Well, he's in his late 50s, Brianna, and I don't think anyone would want to see that, but I think Serena or Venus would have pummeled him a la Billie Jean King over Bobby Riggs back in 1973.
Okay. Billie Jean King beat Bobby Riggs because Bobby Riggs threw the match. Okay, he legitimately threw the match, and he was a drunk old dude. Okay, the idea that match is one of the great annoyances for anyone who knows anything about sports. It is such an annoyance when people say that Billie Jean King beat Bobby Riggs straight up. Okay, Bobby Riggs threw the match before the match. Okay, there's very little doubt about this at this point. And here's my proof that John McEnroe would in fact beat Serena Williams. Okay, and certainly in his prime would have beat Serena Williams, no question. First of all, Serena Williams has said before she doesn't play on the men's tour because she wouldn't win on the men's tour. This is obviously true. Okay, many years ago, very early in Venus and Serena's career, 1998, Serena Williams decided she thought she could beat some men. So she was in an ATP tour office at the Australian Open, and a guy named Karsten Brash, who you've never heard of because he was an okay player, but he wasn't anything special. He was once a top 40 player at his best. But at this point, when he met Serena Williams in 1998, he was ranked 203rd in the world. 203rd in the world. So Serena was talking about how she might be able to beat some of the men. And he said, okay, want to play a match? And so both Serena and Venus showed up to play matches with him, right? Just for fun. So Brash, this is according to USA Today, the date was set and the day arrived. Brash played a warm-up round of golf in the morning, then came to Melbourne Park. The threesome went to the backcourt where each sister would have a one-set shot at Brash. Word had spread around the grounds the event was taking place, which caused tournament officials to restrict admittance to the area to only those with badges. Brash smoked and sipped beers during the changeovers, and to be honest, no longer looked the part of a fit professional athlete. Brash led 5-0 over Serena before winning the set 6-1, and then posted a 6-2 set victory over Venus. Okay, he was old, he was ranked 203rd in the world, he was smoking and drinking beer between the rounds, and he kicked the crap out of Serena and Venus Williams. That is not a rip on Serena and Venus Williams as athletes. They are incredible athletes. They're also women. And to pretend that women and men are exactly the same when it comes to physical capacity is just idiotic. It's just stupid. Okay, she is the greatest female tennis player of all time. But her fastest recorded serve was 129 miles per hour. Okay? The fastest recorded men's serve is 163 miles per hour. In the 2015 Grand Slam, Serena's average serve traveled 109 miles per hour. Novak Djokovic averaged 117. Andy Murray averaged 114. So the experts have come up with something called the Universal Tennis Rating. Okay, it rates all players on a single scale. Djokovic, this is a couple years ago, ranked at 16.39. That was the highest in the world. Serena ranked at 13.36, which doesn't sound terrible until you realize that that is the same ranking as a mid-ranked male college tennis player. Okay, so men and women, they don't have the same capacity. Okay, this is true when it comes to throwing baseballs as well. Women on average cannot throw as fast as men. There are some women who can throw pretty fast. There are no women who can throw 95 miles per hour. Okay, the average woman throws a baseball slower than, this is a real statistic, this is not me making it up. The average woman throws a baseball slower than out of 1,000 men, 998 of those men. Okay, the average woman throws faster than 2 out of 1,000 men that you pick out of the street. So let's get over this whole women and men are exactly the same. They're not exactly the same. Again, does this make women worse? No. Does it make women worse at sports? Yes, by any objective measure. But why is this even feminists, don't you understand you undermine your case when you suggest that men and women are exactly the same or they should be treated exactly the same? Don't you understand that it's really stupid? Because then, you know what happens? Fallon Fox, who is a dude, who is transgender, fights women in MMA and beats the living crap out of them because he still has male musculature. And it's unfair because a man beating the hell out of women. This whole thing is so stupid. Speaking of expertise on the left, I have to play this clip because it's just incredible. So there's an expert in Britain. I love what now passes for being an expert. It's pretty spectacular. This is an expert in Britain trying to explain that parents should ask babies for permission to change their diapers. This is a sexuality expert and author named Deanne Carson. And she was speaking to ABC News in Australia. And she was asked what age clients she works with. She said, we work with children from 3 years old. We work with parents from birth. And then Carson explains exactly what she means by that.
We work from children from 3 years old. We work with parents from birth.
From birth?
Yeah. Just about how to set up a culture of consent in their homes. So I'm going to change your nappy now. Is that okay? Of course, the baby's not going to respond. Yes, Mum, that's awesome. I'd love to have my nappy changed. But if you leave a space and wait for body language and wait to make eye contact, then you're letting that child know that their response matters.
No. Okay, as a parent of two, as a parent of a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, one of whom is out of diapers and the other one who will soon be out of diapers, I hope. Okay, here's the truth. If you leave your kids to decide when they want their diapers changed, they will have diaper rash forever. Forever. Okay, if I let my 2-year-old son explain to me when he wants his diaper changed, first of all, he's really smart, so he actually does. Like, he as soon as he goes to the bathroom, he immediately tells us. Like, right then, he says, okay, pee-pee, poo-poo, whatever, and then we go and change him. But my daughter was not so much like that, right? When she was very young, she was also a clean freak, and so when she was a little baby, she would not eat until she'd been changed. But as she got older, because kids do this, she started getting angry when you would change her diaper. And my son is starting to get to that age now, too, where he gets mad when you change his diaper. He doesn't want his diaper changed. He thrashes around on the changing table. You know what you have to do? Force your kids to change their diaper if you're not an idiot. But apparently, being an idiot is an actual qualification for being an expert on parenting on national TV. Now, listen, I don't want to stereotype this woman, Deanne Carson. I don't know if she has kids. I don't know who does her hair, but this is dumb. Okay, this is incredibly dumb, and it's amazing what constitutes expertise. Now, the parenting experts know so little about what actually happens with regard to parenting. So many of them are basing it off of bad social science or based on these tiny uncontrolled studies that a lot of what they have to say is just absolutely counterintuitive. And then they claim that they are experts in science first, and these religious parents who do things like change their kids' diapers without their kids' permission. You're violating consent. You're part of rape culture if you change your kid's diaper or some such nonsense. Okay, so I'm going to get to the mailbag in just a second. First, I want to say thanks to our sponsors over at the USCCA. So this one is for my pro-Second Amendment listeners out there, which is virtually all of you, I believe. So I've got a great opportunity for you to win an expensive new gun, but you have to be law-abiding, and also you have to act fast. So the USCCA is giving you 5 chances to win $1,000 to buy an expensive new Kimber Micro with extra ammo. As a strong supporter of the Second Amendment, I'm also a proud member of the USCCA because they have all sorts of fantastic services, including educational services, informational services, legal services, and they love giving away free guns to law-abiding citizens so you can protect yourself. Go to defendmyfamilynow.com and lock in your 5 free chances to win right now. Defendmyfamilynow.com and lock in those 5 free chances to win. Don't miss out on that chance to win $1,000 for your very own Kimber. It is one of the finest handguns out there, but it all ends the 25th. So you have to hurry. Go to defendmyfamilynow.com right now for those 5 chances to win. It's 100% free. You can enter in seconds, and it gives you those 5 opportunities. Yeah, again, you're a law-abiding citizen. If you don't own a gun, you probably should for self-defense and for various other reasons. I think that it's worthwhile owning weaponry. And defendmyfamilynow.com, go register. You could actually win one. At the very least, you'll be registering with the USCCA, which is a great organization to begin with. Go check it out now, defendmyfamilynow.com. Alrighty, so we are now going to get to the mailbag, but first, you're going to have to go over to dailywire.com. Now, the reason you're going to want to is because if you want to ask me questions, that's the only way to do it. Okay, you think that you're sending me these emails and I'm going to answer all of them. I get hundreds of emails a day. I mean, not to be self-centered, but I'm a popular fellow. I get lots and lots of emails. How do you know that your question is actually going to be answered? You know it's going to be answered when you actually send it to me via Daily Wire. And the way you do this is you go to our Daily Wire chat room right now as I'm about to do the mailbag after you subscribe, and then you can ask me questions live, and I will answer them for you on air. Plus, you can ask questions of our other hosts, including the execrable Michael Knowles. It's almost time for our next episode of The Conversation, Tuesday, May 15th, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Pacific. Michael Knowles will be here to answer your questions, which means that he will stare blankly into camera and then make an obscure reference to a Catholic theologian you've never heard of. Michael Knowles will answer all of those questions if you go over to dailywire.com and you subscribe. All you have to do to subscribe, go over and subscribe, and then everybody can watch this right at YouTube, Facebook. You can watch all of it live. Alicia Krause will be there, and she will be reading all of your questions to him live for a full hour, and you will get all of your questions answered, even if badly, by Michael Knowles. So go check that out. Plus, you should subscribe also because it helps us bring you the show. Okay, let's be honest about this. It is your subscriptions that allow us to bring you the show and allow us to bring you the Sunday specials. Our new Sunday special it's coming up on Sunday because it's Sunday special, if you didn't get that from the name. And we are featuring Dave Rubin. So Dave Rubin stops by for the full hour, as Larry King might say. And it is excellent. It's a lot of fun to listen to. You've seen a lot of hubbub about the intellectual dark web this week. Well, Dave is a charter member and a connector within the intellectual dark web, and we'll have full discussions about Dave's philosophy and the stuff that Dave has to say. Well, and here's a little bit of what it sounded like when I sat down with Dave Rubin. One of the great things about Dave Rubin is that the first time I was introduced to you, I think it was probably on your show. I don't know, we knew each other before I was on your show. And you are, I think, one of the best interviewers in the business. So people normally see stuff like this and expect us to see the chairs reversed.
Yeah.
But what's really fun about this, I actually